The current situation with Seth Rollins is continuing to morph into a mysterious situation, so we'll see what's new there. We'll also check out what's going on with Charlotte Flair, SummerSlam, and more. Starting things off with some big developments and potential changes to SummerSlam. Triple H noted at the Evolution press conference that the SummerSlam card will be coming together this week. It definitely has. The 2025 SummerSlam card currently includes these matches: John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, Gunther versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, Naomi versus Ripley versus Sky for the Women's World Title, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Title, Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental Title, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Plus, it looks like a match for Roman Reigns will be announced in the coming days as well. But there's one major part of SummerSlam that now looks like it's been quietly cancelled, and that's the hosting role that was given to Cardi B. WWE has been after an appearance from Cardi B for years now, and something that always got in the way of happening. Finally, after years of trying to book her, they got it done in 2025, announcing way back in April that Cardi will be the official host of SummerSlam. The rollout of the announcement was huge. They pushed the news out to huge news outlets, and they spammed the Cardi B Summerslam commercial multiple times throughout all their programming. They really wanted to hammer in your head that Cardi B was hosting SummerSlam. And when they came back from commercial break, they also had a graphic for Cardi B displaying the information that she'll be hosting the event. They did that for several months after the April announcement. But fans just noticed after all the advertising for Cardi B's hosting role suddenly vanished. WWE is no longer airing the Cardi B SummerSlam commercial. They're not putting up the graphics saying that she's hosting the event. They've gone completely dark on all the advertising for Cardi hosting the event. The website no longer makes any mention of her hosting the show, and it's hard to find any information or promotions for her hosting the show anymore. So to go from blasting the news everywhere of her hosting the event, to now all of a sudden Cardi B's SummerSlam advertisements being nowhere to be found or mentioned in quite a long time, this has fans wondering if the SummerSlam hosting role for Cardi B was cancelled or not, because they went from fully advertising it like crazy to no longer making any type of mention of her name at all anymore. And with SummerSlam now being a few weeks away, you would think that the Cardi B mentions would ramp up with her hosting date getting closer and closer, but instead it's been the other way around, and fans found that to be really weird. So no one knows if the Cardi B role was officially cancelled, but the strange quietness certainly makes it seem like that's the case. 2025 has been a hectic year for Charlotte Flair. She had all those big moments earlier in the year where she faced the brutality of the Chicago crowd that completely rejected her. Then she had several encounters with Tiffany Stratton, where even Tiffany jabbed her by saying that Charlotte can never have the fans on her side. And that was even a discussion that fans were having earlier in the year. Fans were wondering if Charlotte Flair was stuck as a heel, because a babyface run was looking impossible since Charlotte was getting booed in every city she was going to earlier this year. But this partnership story now with Alexa Bliss started, and they pulled it off. They turned Charlotte babyface and has fans rooting for Charlotte again. This was extremely evident at Evolution 2025, where the Atlantic crowd was very strong behind Charlotte Flair. They were chanting for her to tag into the match and went nuts when the hot tag to Charlotte actually happened. It was the biggest babyface reception Charlotte received since her 2023 run. Charlotte even said on social media that the reception made her very emotional because she's been waiting to be a babyface for a long time, and it looks like that finally came to light at Evolution. So as long as nothing crazy happens and Charlotte doesn't betray Alexa or anything like that, this babyface trend should continue for Charlotte Flair, and it could continue strongly. As far as the latest for Alexa and Charlotte goes, they're still doing these lighthearted little games on each other, like with Evolution's entrance, where Charlotte blocked Alexa's face with her robe, and how Alexa threw Lily at Charlotte. They're doing these little things with each other to further sell the idea that they're fully not on the same page with each other. But even with their loss at Evolution, it looks like Alexa and Charlotte still very much made a lot of progression together as a team and as a unit. They've been making all this talk about how they're not friends and how they don't really care for each other, but at the end of their Evolution match, they were hugging each other and embracing each other through their loss. So you can definitely see the story coming together. Charlotte converted to a babyface already, and now they're going to continue to bond as a team and learn from what they did at Evolution so that they could come back and eventually come for the tag team titles again down the line. The Seth Rollins injury status is the biggest mystery going on in WWE at the moment. At first, it seemed simple. Seth got hurt in the middle of the match, and that was that. But now there's some reports and rumors going around that Seth allegedly was hurt before the match even took place, and they just did the injury spot as an official way to write him off. This report claimed that they were going to sell the idea that Seth was badly injured and will be out for the long haul, but in actuality, it's not that serious, and he will make a surprise return much earlier than everyone thinks. No one knows how to feel about that specific report, but what does match up is that WWE is already selling the idea that it's a devastating injury for Seth Rollins. When Triple H was speaking about Seth's injury, he said that it does not look good. Then on Raw, Paul Heyman did not have much new information on Seth's injury, but he did say that Seth had until June 2026 to cash in. So again, that's a seed and idea that's being planted into the audience's head that Seth is missing a crazy amount of time. But with this new report that they're setting up a big swerve here and that Seth will be returning much sooner than you think. That has fans theorizing and wondering if a SummerSlam surprise return and cash-in for Seth Rollins is a possibility. Basically try to recreate his first cash-in moment from 2015. Create a Heist 2.0 moment with Seth, making his surprise early return and cash in on one of the 2 world title matches. Seth can decide to cash in on Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. That would really shake the match up and would mirror what Seth did in 2015, where he turned a huge WWE Championship match into a triple threat match with his cash-in. Seth could repeat history there by cashing in on this WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. Or Seth could cash in on the world title match between CM Punk and Gunther, and a cash-in here in this match actually makes more sense given the story and circumstances. Seth said it last year, he said it earlier this year, and he said it right after Night of Champions. He said as long as there's air in his lungs, CM Punk will never hold a WWE world title again. So funny enough, it would be pretty insane if everyone assumes Seth Rollins is done and on the shelf until 2026, but he comes running down the ramp at SummerSlam with the contract in his hand to once again stop CM Punk from getting his hands on the world title. Maybe it's in the closing moments of the match where Punk looks like he's getting close to beating Gunther, or maybe Punk does win the world title and Seth cashes in post-match to put a quick end to that world title reign for CM Punk. That's definitely right on par with that level of hatred that Seth's character has for CM Punk. That Seth would come out there, hobbled on one good leg just to put a stop to Punk's world title dream. That definitely seems like something Seth would do. It would be an extra surprising and shocking cash-in since they're selling the idea that Seth is terribly hurt as well. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.